Hey there, comic book fans. I'm back from the comic shop this week, and it was a pretty light week this week with only 4 comics, which is pretty good because last week was a heavy week and my wallet was a little light. But first we'll show you the freebies. Comic shop news. Marvel Legacy #1. This one feels extra thick. Must be. Launching a legacy. I think there's more pages in it than there normally is. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. I guess this is all Marvel. There's usually 8 pages in it at best. Or do I have 2? Oh, look. I put a Phoenix poster in the middle. That must be the extra pages. That's always fun to look at. And of course, free Marvel Legacy Spotlight. I guess this is just it comes with previews. The odds of me buying any of these Marvel Legacy books is slim to none, closer to none, but you know what? I'll read the previews. Because why not read the previews? The first book I got this week is Invincible. Part 8 of 12, the end of all things. So only when we hit that 12th, Invincible is no more. So the big war goes on. I think last we knew, that guy, the big head villain in Invincible, were fighting in the sun, or near the sun. There they are. His army just kind of surrendered, and I guess this one's going to be a lot of they're fighting the sun's corona, or whatever the edge of the sun is called. I can't remember, but Invincible's been a good comic book from start to end, and can't believe it's ending soon. We got 9, 10, 11, 12, and 4 months. What is this? 9 plus 4? So January, I guess, the last issue is coming out. Wow. This book's been coming out for a long, long time. Next, we have Snot Girl, issue number 7. Our story of a fashion blogger. Let's see, is this a wraparound cover or 2 different covers? I don't know. I guess it's 2 different covers, yeah. Because there's no real connecting theme besides this black. The purple just kind of ends in the fold. And the green almost transfers over, but it's green is crisp on one side and blurry on the other. So we'll call that 2 separate covers. This comic is about the day-to-day life of a very insecure fashion blogger. There was some sort of crime mystery aspect to it, but that kind of disappeared. But I like it. It's well done. I guess you could call it a slice-of-life comic, but it's a really weird life. This really, I never thought this, I'd like this comic because it's something that's not really my style art-wise, but it's good. I don't even remember. Last issue, I think, was just a nice, everything, I don't know where the story, like I said, the first part of the story, we were learning about her and her friends, and she met a new person. That new person may have been murdered, and there was a cop introduced, but the cop never really made it into her main story yet, and the person wasn't murdered. So I'm not sure where this one is going, but I'm along for the ride. And our 4th book of the week is Department H, and Department H, whoops, always gives us a wraparound cover. Here we have our specimens of different sea life. Wraparound cover. Goblin shark. That's mean looking. I think I remember seeing one of those before in some book. Gulper eel. Barrel eye. Our survival horror, locked room mystery, slice of life comic continues. Like last issue, they were trying to escape the bottom of the ocean to make it back up to the surface. But on the surface, a pandemic has broke out. And they don't know what they're going to face if they're allowed to surface. They may have the cure for the pandemic, but the people on the surface think that they may have think that they may be bringing another pandemic up, and so don't want them to surface. Meanwhile, she the main character still doesn't know who killed her father down there in the bottom of the ocean. And it flashes back to tell the stories of the characters, before they ended up where they are now. So there's the storytelling is mostly present day and flashback, and they use flashback to flesh out the characters and tell us who each one is. But it's ending soon. I think it's ending at 22 or 23. So this is issue 18. So we'll finally get the answer to the mystery of Department H. That is, if anybody lives through it. The last comic I bought this week, Wayward, issue number 23. What does she got? 2 roots? Last we knew, our lead character, they always give us the negative, was going to some magic world to try and help save our world. Meanwhile, our character's back in Japan, the lead character is in Ireland. We're trying to free one of their own from capture by the Japanese government / bad magic users. And we'll see what, looks like we're staying in Japan for this issue, so we'll have to wait for the story of Ireland going into the magical realm, or maybe that's in the back of the book. I just flipped to a few pages. But anyway, Wayward's been a fun book since the beginning. It's kind of opened up in scope since it split its locations in 2. And the story has moved a little slower because there's 2 stories going on. But it's still good stuff. Wayward, number 23. One more thing I wanted to show you this week, only because I found it in a box of random comics. I think it was like odds and ends and promo stuff. And this is a reprint of the first appearance of the Punisher. It's not even in good shape. It's got a fold there. It's got many folds and tick marks in the spine. I bet I picked this up, and I think it was a toy one. Must have come with the Punisher toy. I think I picked this up back in my Marvel bullpen days. It must have been lying around, and I said, oh, I'll take that, because it's not for resale. I don't remember ever buying it, but it was fun to read the first appearance of the Punisher. I don't think I've read this in 20 years, and just cracked me. Magnificent. You've demolished that plaster statue on your first shot. Like, it's a huge accomplishment to shoot a statue with a rifle from 10 feet away. I just love that opening line. But it was fun to read the first appearance of the Punisher. Haven't read it in a long, long time, and it was interesting. Punisher's even a kind of good guy in this issue, because since he's teamed up with the Jackal, you'd think he was a bad guy. But the Jackal has tricked the Punisher into thinking Spider-Man was a bad guy and deserved killing. So the Punisher was going to kill him. But good reprint. If you're looking for a nice, cheap reprint, I assume they're cheap, of the first appearance of this Punisher, here's one. It came with a comic book at some time. So always fun. I like reprints. Always fun to read. We got piles and piles of artwork back here today, but I was going to show you the front ones, which are these. Usually I do art cards and stuff like this at baseball card size, but I made some bigger ones at 5x7. I could be a superhero if I had powers. Until then, I'll enjoy the outfits. That's just a normal face. Did a couple of my characters. I did a couple superheroes saying things. Oh, we got Batman behind there. We got Catwoman, Wolverine, and another one of my faces. I think I put a couple of these up for sale on eBay. I'll give it a look and leave you a link below in the box if I did. And you guys all have a good week out there.